Pride Month is actually talked about for a month in which nothing else is discussed or done. How many months are there in a year to waste for people to think about dicks and pussies, practically forcing the populace to be reminded of genitals every time they go for a walk? So much talk about sex that people are intimidated by it, and don't have it at all in today's post-sex education world. We are the most informed and morally conscious about man-women relationships, but we don't have those relationships with each other. Despite sex and attraction being lauded front and center for decades, a record number of people in human history don't engage with it. On the other hand, number of people who masturbate is through the roof. How could you masturbate in medieval times? To a self-drawn two circles with a point in the middle of them to imitate nipples or a vaguely oval shape two bent sticks can make. How could you masturbate before modernity? Erotic books, pictures, and so on. I guess Japan had a series of famous nude paintings, but that was to be enjoyed by aristocracy. Every woman walking around in burlap clothes. There was just no stimulation at all. That's how our ancestors stayed productive. No fab challenge. Which is ridiculous that the term even exists in wider culture. I bet at this point even maybe not old, but advanced middle-aged people know about the magical wonders of no fab. Will it ever end? No, no way at all. We are stuck in a perpetual cycle of having it front and center of public discourse. Just as the racism discussion will never go away at this point. Who would have the balls to take away Pride, Black History Month? Trump? Actually, maybe, but I don't think people realize how it affects the subconscious of straight and other than black people to have this yearly celebration of everyone but you. Rates of sexual deviancy rose almost multiplicatively year to year over the past decade. I do wonder what percentage simply jumped on a trend or were indoctrinated autists. You must be mentally not there for some fetishes, or have a sense of humor. Honestly, I would appreciate it if some of those people goofed around and figured out how to be the most disgusting and obnoxious for in-group fun. But something tells me most are for real. We are animals, it doesn't feel right, but it is real. We are animals. Taking concubines in China, bringing back slaves by Mongols, boy toys of ancient Rome and Greece, mistresses of aristocracy. What in history of the people is abnormal is actually Christianity that brought unmatched progress eventually to the land it was established on. Monogamy one-on-one, where everybody could somehow get a partner, paradoxically was the least obsessed with sex society in the world, the one most advanced. Now that we discarded Christianity like a used condom, the complete obsession with sex is back, and back to stay forever. Which destroys progress, destroys society, makes addicts, unhappy people, genocides the West by demographics nearing 1.0 births per woman. Gets us back to square one, back to harems for the top 10% of men and women alike by Instagram. Those women have reverse harems of simps. Men players can fuck all they want and some have 50 plus children. I watched a documentary for people in the broadly speaking West who literally change women every day. These women know the man has 60 children. They still want to fuck him. I don't quite get it on an instinctual level. These are some disjointed thoughts and statements. Bear with me and examine them a bit more carefully. Christianity delivered sex equally to all and was still obsessed with it from the beginning of the Virgin Mary myth. Concubines destroyed Chinese emperors. When sex takes center and most important role in the life of superiors, a collapse is kind of imminent. Material and sexual glorification of things that are unattainable for 99%, while simple one-on-one marriage literally includes almost everyone. Proletariat, lower classes, weren't meant to feel any pleasure during short, disease-ridden lifetimes. Medicine changed the whole paradigm of what humanity is and does. You have the right to happiness, but are you happy? If you are a man at 20 years old, you have already come many times more than your ancestors did during their entire lifetimes. Quite a true sounding statement, right? Literally any girl that looks 6 out of 10 while wearing a pound of makeup can get 100,000 plus subscribers talking about dating, especially how hard it's for men. The culture centered on whether you get to have sex or not is simply overwhelming for men and boys. The expectations get higher and higher. For women, they get lower and lower. First statement. The primal discussion can only get even louder as new generation gets used to laundering all possible relationship happenings in their lives straight on YouTube. So far only the most technologically outgoing and a bit courageous of all the generations participate. Second statement. People have been saying it for decades, living their lives peacefully in bliss, yet their view of imminent collapse never changed, no matter how many years passed. I say it loud and proud with the doomer crowd. Collapse must happen. It is abnormal how it didn't yet, at least not the loud one. The state of perpetual decline of every facet of society continues somehow, maybe because the peak of prosperity lasted so long. We are falling from figurative Mount Everest and still only tumbled halfway. Third statement. We are becoming obsessed over their lower body primates due to the incessant tag and non-stop propaganda of cucumbers and clams, furthering the prophecy contained in a certain movie that begins with I.